Hey everybody, Richie here from Reckless Pixel and LensWizard.com, at LensWizard on Instagram. And in this Lightroom beginners video, we're going to talk today about profile setting. We're going to focus specifically on this profile label right here in the basic panel in Lightroom. So I had previously done a video where I went through each individual item here in the basic panel, and I just kind of glossed over the profile one because I wanted to do a separate video and explore this a little bit more in depth. Even though it's for a beginner, I just wanted to kind of explain it a little bit in a little bit more detail. So let's jump right in and see that in this profile setting right now, it says camera neutral. Now, nothing has been done to this image. It's straight out of camera. There has been no edits made. And this is the setting that my camera was set at, like in body of the camera. So I'm shooting with a Canon camera and I'm shooting in JPEG and RAW. And when you go into your camera, most DSLRs will have, actually they usually have these choices right here. They might even have a few more. These say Adobe standard. Typically, most people will have their camera set to standard. I had mine set to neutral. And then it comes through here into Lightroom and it shows that. So you have the ability, if you shoot in RAW, to in post edit, you can change this. If you want to change it to something else, you can. Okay, let's look at Adobe's neutral as opposed to Canon's neutral. And we notice that it washes the image out a little bit more. Okay, and we could, even go and we could choose standard. We could choose vivid. But this is pretty much where the basic part of this profile ends. And now let's step into another part of it. So we also have monochrome, and we could change it to a monochrome, which essentially is a black and white. But let's go back to, let's just go back to standard. And then let's open this up again. And we see that we have down here browse. So let's take a look at what's in the browse section. Now, as we open this up, we see in my particular version of Lightroom, I have the basic stuff right here, and these are now they open up as kind of thumbnails. And you can change this view by going up here, and you can choose, large. If you choose large, it just gives you a single one. And also notice as I'm moving my cursor over these, the image in the window is changing. So you kind of get a preview here, and you also, it will preview on your system. And then we also have the list view, and list will just take us back to just the labels. And even still, if you scroll over them, it will give you some sort of a change. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it for right now. I'm going to leave it in list view. But notice now these are the ones that come with Lightroom. And I believe these artistic ones are also with Lightroom. And these are great. These are like a preset before you have even started editing your photo. Or you could put these on after you've edited your photo. You can do this at any time. Now, let's just choose one of these. Let's just choose this purplish one here. And notice now that I've chosen this, now we have this slider up here where we can obviously decrease, or we could increase the amount of this effect, this preset, as you can call it. And also notice that if I want to get back to 100 and just, set it right back to the beginning, just double click on that little handle and it will take you back there. And you can also double click on amount. So let's explore on down a little further, and let me just get this set back to, I'm going to set it back to neutral. So as we scroll over, now some of these, like I say, they come with Adobe Lightroom, and then you can also put your own presets in. Now I believe these black and whites, and I'm going to close some of these out so that we don't have so many open. I believe these black and whites are the ones that come with Adobe Lightroom. And again, I say I believe because I really don't use these presets too much, although they are in here. I tend to use these ones that I had purchased, which is Lutify. And we have Oh, there's all different kinds in here, and I don't always, you know, go through all of them. I kind of have used enough of them enough that I kind of know my go-to. So for example, if I was going to do a black and white edit of this, I would go down to my Luddify black and whites, and I would probably go to that one right there and just click on it. And once you click on it, you've set it. Now, if you keep moving your cursor over, it'll change it. But if you don't click on anything and move it away, it just stays with that one that you've chosen. Now, you also have the ability to go over here and hit this little star, and that will then move this up, and it will also appear in your favorites. And so let's see, if I go down here and I hit the little star, okay, so now we go up here and you can see that it's in the favorites, and it's right there at the top if you use that particular preset a lot. So I'm going to go on down, and I'm actually not going to make it a black and white. I think I might go with this one right here. Now, this is the Luddify teal and orange. And I'm not promoting the Luddify. I mean, you can get your presets wherever you want. This is just particularly where I got mine. But let's go to this teal and orange, and let's see what we got here. Let's close this. Now we have the ability to close, and we're going to move along here, and we're just going to go perform a basic edit. So in the previous video, we edited this same image, and we chose auto on the white balance, and then we chose auto on the editing, and that's what it gave us. Now, I don't particularly care for all the saturation, so I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of the vibrance. And let's see how that looks. That doesn't look too bad. This was shot on a rainy day, and it was in a graveyard, as you can see. So let's make it a little bit moody here. And I believe our preset that we chose is making it somewhat moody. And let's bring the exposure down a little bit, and maybe even let's wash it out a little bit on the color, and maybe even dehaze a little bit. Take that down, and of course we could even do a crop. And that's just a typical way that you could use. I'm just trying to give an example of how you could use the preset before you've edited your photo. You could easily edit this photo and then go through and find presets. But I think that that's a pretty fair edit for a quick edit right there. Typically, I would have taken this over probably into Photoshop and maybe done some other things over there, but I like this edit. For a quick edit, this is pretty good. So now let's go back up here to our panel for profile, and we got one more thing to explore, and that is this little plus arrow up here, or this little plus and an arrow here. So let's click on that, and we have two choices in here. And the first choice, we're going to go down to the second choice first, and that is going to be manage profiles. And what that does, and this is very simple, if you untick these, they will not appear over here in your panel. And at any time, if you want to put them back in your panel, so if you don't want your panel all cluttered up, kind of like I have mine, you can go through and tick or untick whichever ones you want, and that will change that. Now let's go back again, click on the plus sign, and we have import profiles. And that's where you can import these preset profiles, or if you just want to call them presets, or Adobe's calling them profiles, I call them preset profiles. To import these, you can click on this and it will open up. And this part is kind of, self-explanatory. Most people know how to edit through, or, how to bring something in. So we're going to go to Luddify, and let's see, we're going to go to here. And then this is where we have, I believe it's this one right here. And if we go down here to the teal and orange, we open these up, we notice that they are XMP files. And in order to import these, you need to have XMP that has to say XMP at the end. XMP is a recipe file that Adobe uses to create a recipe for an edit. You will find XMP files in a couple of places in Lightroom, and this is one of them. So what we want to do, if we were going to import these, we would just want to actually, we would want to actually select them all, and then we would go down here. Now, I'm not going to import them because I already have them imported, but that is what you would do. You would basically click on that little guy, click on that, navigate to where you need to go to navigate to, import them, and then they would all show up. So you can purchase presets. Sometimes you can find free presets, or you can just go with the ones that are in Adobe Lightroom that come with it. Hey, I kind of like that one right there. It's a washed out kind of black and white. That looks kind of cool. Moody, very moody. Anyway, if you like this video, obviously hit like, hit subscribe, come back, check out the other Lightroom videos. I'm going to be redoing my Lightroom videos. I started back in 2014, and I had done a whole series that appeared on YouTube and Vimeo. And then I didn't update them because not a whole lot changed with Lightroom. But then as time went by, now we're in 2020, and of course, a lot has changed. We didn't have Lightroom CC and Classic and all that stuff back then. So there has been some changes. So, hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video and have a great day.